Okay, so let's just roll into it and just see where we end up. Karen, you want to introduce the topic, and then uh, I'll talk for a few seconds, then we'll just go into wherever we go.
Uh, all right, just give me a sec. Okay. Right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the book club, Zahara Ask What is Love? And this is our first session. And I'm so happy to have all of you with us. Let's welcome Harry and start the show. Hi, Harry. Welcome.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay. Big talk. Okay. I Whenever our mentor, Sydney Banks, our teacher, Sydney Banks, our friend, Sydney Banks, he talked about what the essence of what he's teaching is love and understanding. And the reason love is so important to me, love is the spiritual essence of life, and understand, and more like the artist. So the artist of the spirit is love, and the understanding is more the science of the spirit. And the way I sort of see life, and just the way I see it, because Mark says you can't say things like this is the way it is. Um, the way I see it is that the North American people were captured by the science of the spirit, and they called it psychology. And the Africans uh, more captured the artist of the spirit, the love aspect of the teachings of the three principles. Together, of course, they are one. And that is the beauty of what we are looking for. So we're looking for love and understanding. And in the way that when I was invited into Africa, I was touched by the deep feelings of the people. I was touched by the openness to spiritual uh, love, and I was touched by the fact that they wanted to be happy. They were tired of being unhappy. And then as I started to work with the team that I had, which was very interesting, it was a Muslim team. And then we expanded. And then Jim came in, and now Marcus joined the team in Kenya. Uh, the idea that I noticed with what we've done is we've all not only been touched by the love of the people in Africa, we've been touched in our hearts by the spiritual ability to alleviate suffering, by the ability to be part of something beyond what we ever expected, beyond what we can. And what is interesting in the development of the team, of which there are 6 now, is each person is developing in an independent way, yet they are connected together by the one simple fact that love alleviates suffering. And they see it. And as they experience it, it grabs their heart, grabs my heart. And each of us learn from each other. So it's not a leadership North American concept that there's a leader and everybody down listens to the leader. It's more of a African way of feeling love in the moment. Now, what that meant to me was that I wanted to write something that that captured the way they looked at life. And one of the things that they looked at life differently than I had been exposed to before was they had a very, very strong feeling about God, an incredible indigenous feeling about God. But they wanted to know practical answers within the concept of God. They wanted to understand how to be happy while they love God. And they wanted to understand simple things. very, very simple things like what is the difference between the love of God and the love of my boyfriend? We don't talk about stuff like that in North America, but that's what they wanted to know. And so what 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 I what what has happened when the book came out, it provided a curriculum for people, but it dealt with African characters. And in my understanding, what I was being exposed to from the Africans, this is what they were telling me they wanted to see, what they wanted to learn from. So that so as an example of it, Raji, who teaches in New Hope in Naka Valley, is teaching the chapters to two other members. So what we're doing is we have a core group of 3 people, and they will take it out to the 3,000 people in the community. Not I will take it out. I will complement it, but they will take it out to them. And as they understand how to teach this, they ask questions. And I've brought up one question that I'm going to ask Jim and Roz to address right now to try and give you an idea of the flavor of what's on their mind. I've been talking to Mark, as he is new member in Kenya, about don't be so concentrating what's on your mind, what's on their mind. And if you can get a flavor of that, you will be able to hit home a lot easier. So here's the question that comes from Iraji's group, New Hope, for Jim and Roz, because I think they're experts in this question. But, we all have a lot to learn. Here's the question. What role does self-love play in building and maintaining a healthy romantic relationship? Everybody wants to know that. Everybody in the whole world. Go ahead, Jim and Roz.
All right. I'm going to put the brakes on that for a minute, Harry, because you were going to talk, and then I was going to talk, and then we were going to go to the question. I want to have my little soapbox for a few minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes, and then by all means we will address that question. It is a beautiful question, and we want to address it. But in my way, I want to say just a couple more things about this beautiful experience that we're having in Africa, and to elaborate on what you were sharing. It seems like I can't get into this if I don't go right back to Sid and Sid's mission of alleviating human suffering, and then how we're into Africa. It's now 50 years later, and the human suffering, to me, it's rampant, and the people that are picking up on it have a wonderful commitment to sharing it. Not just getting it for themselves, but moving on and sharing it amongst their fellow citizens. And that's really what we're doing here is we are gathering with those teachers and assisting them as best we can to that common mission that we have, which is to alleviate the human suffering. And when you started sharing about the love that and the idea of the feeling and the questions about love and etc., and how we the things that we're impressed with by the Africans as they are sharing, that caring and sharing, it's a reflection of what's been happening to me as I've been sharing, and that is a deepening, an extreme deepening of my feelings of compassion, and it is going to that compassion that has created responses, that has lit the torch, lit the flame, fanned the flame, however we want to say it, awakened those that have been hearing, and and their response has been awakening me to realize what's going on within me. I've been growing tremendously, Harry. You've been growing tremendously. Your writing of this book is an act of compassion, and everything that you've been doing in this regard in Africa is coming out of your compassion and your caring, and it's passing on, and my level of caring and Roz's level of caring has deepened. It keeps deepening. You know, it doesn't matter how old we are. It doesn't matter how long we've been around. We keep growing. We never stop growing. We have the opportunity to keep growing. And the people that are picking this up in Africa are not just stopping at themselves, but they're keeping on with the idea of sharing and growing. They're picking up that, and their compassion is deepening as well. And that's why we're all in the room today, folks. It's all about deepening our own sense of compassion and caring for our fellow humans. Now I want to go to the question, Harry, and would you, I backed up, so I'd like to catch up to the energy that you were had built up to just by introducing that question to me again, please.
Okay. What role does self-love play in building and maintaining a healthy romantic relationship? Imagine that came from Zahara. This would be a question that Zahara would ask BB. But we're
Sure,
going to ask Jim and Ross.
sure. And Harry, you were talking about, that question coming out from Africans, and another sidebar on that is I've been picking up that it's been a taboo to have a question like that. That they're really breaking barriers when they deign to, or deign is not the right word, when they step up and have the courage to ask that question, because traditionally it was not spoken to.
And can I just add a little? And Gerwin has mentioned that the kids have been shy, but they love talking about this type of stuff.
Yeah, good point. And that's, I guess, what's driving it. And in order to have a successful, loving relationship, my experience has been be true to yourself, love yourself, find that love for yourself, because that will guide you to sharing a purer love, and you will not compromise that feeling for some kind of gain in a relationship, but you will share it, and you will share your honesty, and you will do it knowing that you are speaking your highest level of truth and love. In simple words, be true to yourself. Don't give up yourself for the person that you want something from as a partner, but give your love to that person, and give your love in an honest way, and the whole package, not just the kisses and the cuddles, not just the kind words that change if you don't get what you want, but the bargain is open, unconditional love. That's where it comes from. That's where the beautiful relationships occur, when the unconditional love is present. It doesn't mean that your level may drop in that you find that you've been slipping, but that you will notice, and you will correct course, because that's how we continue to be true to ourselves, is by correcting our course when we flag. When our level drops, because our level of consciousness goes up and down, and on occasion we may falter, and the action we take then is seeing it, recognizing it, and correcting course. I would say that is what makes a beautiful, deep, loving relationship, which is accompanied by incredible, beautiful feelings of love. Roz and I have an incredible relationship. I am so blessed by the opportunity that is availed by having a romantic and a beyond romance feeling of love together, commitment of love together. And so I have that gratitude. And I see it in her, reflected in her. She guides me. I'm grateful for her having the opportunity to experience this kind of pure relationship. Your turn.
Hard to beat that.
You don't have to beat it.
I find that I have to know myself in order that I can feel comfortable with myself and express myself to Jim in a very personal way, so that we can experience each other and what we each have to bring to the relationship. But I have to be true, as Jim said, to myself, in order that who we are in our deeper self comes through, and we can experience the other person at the same level. And one thing we do not do is hold grudges. We treat each other kindly. We forgive each other. We forgive ourselves. And when we make mistakes, we talk about the mistakes, knowing that we're not going to be struck down for having made the mistake, but we will learn from it. And it's beautiful to have that kind of relationship because it's very open. Go ahead.
Nice.
So this is the type of feeling that created a spark in me to write about what the two of them have just shared. Where Zahara, being a 15-year-old young gal, had very deep understandings. And then she got exposed to someone like Jim and Roz. Her name is Bibi, which is grandmother in Swahili, and started to ask questions. And this is the other thing that I have found in Africa. If we can get the Africans to ask questions, that opens up our ability to find out about ourselves. Because there's no difference between Africa and Harry, Africa and Jim and Roz. We all want more love in our heart. That's all I know. That's all I know. So we're going to listen to Zahara Ask What is Love. We've given a little bit of a feeling of who Zahara is and BB is. And just give me a second. I have to do this, which is this sec here. And we'll get it to, okay. Oh, I have to share screen, shoot. You should be doing this, Karen. I shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, it's just a sec here. Share screen. Share sound. Okay. Share. Okay. Okay. Welcome to Zahara Ask, What is Love? This African book consists of 11 chapters, each of which has its own special teaching on love. Zahara Asks What is Love can be read as a book or taught as individual chapters to students in an educational setting. The book is written by Harry Durbitsky and read by Jim Beck. Sit back and enjoy this journey into the mind of Zahara.
Zahara asks, "What is love?" Written by Harry Durbitsky, narrated by Jim Beck. Zahara is a 15-year-old young lady living in Naka Valley refugee camp. She's very curious about love. So are many of her girlfriends. She read in the book The Missing Link by Sydney Banks about love and forgiveness. Quote, "What you give in life is what you receive. To give love is to receive love. A mind full of love and good feelings can never go wrong." Zahara went to her grandmother, Bibi McKenna, and asked her, "Why is it to give love is to receive love?" Bibi responded with a big smile to her granddaughter's question. Love is a spiritual power given to us by God. When we feel love inside of ourselves, we're happy and full of being grateful. However, for the love to grow like God intends for us, we must give love away so others can feel its healing and wonderful power. Firstly, we must love ourselves. And then secondly, we must share this love with others. Love will conquer a mountain of problems, while hate makes the mountain larger and harder to climb. For me, Zahara, love and understanding will solve all the problems we face here in Naka Valley. In fact, it will solve all the problems the world is facing. Do you understand, my sweet Zahara? Sort of. But I still do not fully understand about love. To continue her investigation, Zahara asked Bibi about what she had read about love and forgiveness being connected together in The Missing Link. Quote, "Love and forgiveness go hand in hand. Without them, life is encumbered by ill feelings and unhappiness. Forgiveness brings forth peace of mind. Without forgiveness, the road through life is paved with doubt and misery. God has already forgiven you for yesterday's mistakes, so why don't you forgive yourself?" Bibi, I cannot understand why forgiveness is so important to being connected to love. Isn't love just a feeling? And when you are in love, all is beautiful? Bibi smiled again. Yes, love is the most beautiful feeling. And when you are in love with life, all is beautiful. Sometimes you may feel this love towards a young man, but that is a bit different type of love. Being in love with life is a feeling within. Being in love with a man can ignite that feeling within you, but sometimes we might also believe that we can only be happy when we are with that man. That is not true. Love is between God and you. And if a man captures your heart, that is good. However, love is shared because of positive feelings. Positive feelings fuel love. Zahara, always remember that you must never give away your soul or become a slave to another. Sharing love is different. And Zahara, you will only be fully happy when you share love from the freedom of love within you. And you, Zahara, have a lot of love to give. If the young man respects the love you give, then take a deep and good look at his strength of character. But if he does not respect you, then I would walk away from him being your boyfriend, no matter what the physical attraction might be. But what does forgiveness have to do with love? Zahara said. Bibi loved Zahara's questions and answered, if you have a boyfriend, a close girlfriend, and even your mother and father, you may intentionally or accidentally disappoint them or hurt their feelings, or vice versa. Then, if one of you asks for forgiveness, if there is love in your hearts, forgiveness will be shared. Only then can you continue your journey together in harmony and peace. But even more importantly, Zahara, we must forgive ourselves when we are unwise or too emotional in the moment. When we forgive ourselves, we can walk in harmony and peace with ourselves. This is very important. When we forgive ourselves, we do not take the past discomforts into the present or now. Happiness is free, Zahara, and so is love. Only by not forgiving ourselves will we paint the picture black. When we have thinking of a darkish nature, that is what we must feel. Forgiveness is the answer. With forgiveness, we forget about yesterday's mistakes and walk into loving ourselves, loving God, loving life, loving nature, and loving everyone in our world. We are all God's children, and it is time for us to understand about unity. Because of lack of forgiveness, we have wars in our beautiful Africa. This is man's folly, not God's. Zahara, I will answer you the question of what is love. We feel love between us. That is the love I understand. Your love instills love in my heart. It makes me feel young and hopeful. I love you, Zahara, and I know you love me. That is the love I understand. Love is not make-believe. Love is a fact. Only when we have dark, unforgiving thoughts do we color love over with blackness. Let these thoughts drift away, and what you will find is your unlimited ability to love. I hope that helps, Zahara. And why don't we have a cookie and share our good feelings together? Zahara smiled and laughed and said, yes, Bibi, let's share the cookies and love together.
Stop that. Shoot. I'll stop share. Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Is there any discussion or questions? We're going to go into a breakout group and just and have you talk about this from your own perspective, and then come back to us and tell us what your thoughts are. But before we do that, I'm just wondering if there's any comment or question.
I have a comment, Harry. As I was listening to that, and the part about forgiveness particularly, and the part about how you may inadvertently or deliberately hurt your partner's feelings, or make a mistake in some way, and then in order for it to be corrected, one or the other of that relationship has to go to forgiveness. And it just flashed on me in a way that it hadn't before. When Roz and I were talking, we talked about being true to ourselves. In fact, being true to ourselves requires that easily done forgiving. Almost in our cases of being true to ourselves, we may not notice that that is forgiveness, but you're forgiving for having strayed to that being true to ourselves. You know, part of it, portion is it's not quite the right word, but that thing, being true to ourselves means that we have noticed that we haven't been true to ourselves. And in order to get back on track, that forgiveness takes place.
And at first, it's a hard thing to do if you're not accustomed to it, to take that step and that daring, but by being loving and forgiving, you forgive yourself and therefore are open to talking about it.
And it gets easier to do.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point, Roz. Forgiving, the reason people don't forgive is they feel fear. They feel fear that the other person will react to them or not act the way they expect. And yet what you bring up is the ease. As you see the beauty and love of forgiveness, it gets easy to forgive and ask for forgiveness.
Sure. And Harry, there's a rampant misconception around that is a weakness.
That's correct.
An apology is a weakness. To say I was wrong is a weakness. It's actually one of the most powerful.
It's the most powerful thing in the universe.
Yeah. It's going to truth.
It's true.
It's setting truth ahead of ego.
Yeah. And God provides a mechanism or a tool to bring everything back into harmony, into balance.
Yes.
And that's what we want. Jim and Roz want a good feeling. If there's an uncomfortable feeling, they want a good feeling. I have that same relationship with myself. Every time I have an uncomfortable feeling, I want a comfortable feeling. And then the beauty of a relationship, two can have a comfortable feeling. And we know it's not two, it's all powerful.
Yeah, it's all relationships.
Yeah, yeah. So where's our host? Karen, do you have a question before we?
Yeah, I do. I do, yes. So as I was listening, in the audiobook, Jim said that love can conquer all problems. Okay, so I see lots of people, they are sick, okay, they have cancer, they have any diseases, some people are running to financial. So what does love have to do with it? How can love conquer all the problems?
Well, all problems are solved when you look at life from a non-problem perspective. And when you're looking at problems, you're looking at at analyzing and trying to solve what is not working. The reason the three principles are so powerful is that they are pointing to a rising in your level of consciousness. From the perspective of the low level of consciousness, all there is problems. As the level rises, you feel the love and you see different. When you love yourself, Karen, all you feel is your connection to God, hope. You see vision. You open up to possibilities. While you're down in the lower level, that's why we say to people, don't talk about your problems. Let your negative thoughts go. And that's how Sid defines love. Let your negative thoughts go. And if you don't have negative thoughts, what do you have, Karen?
No problem.
Yeah. So there's the answer.
No problem. Yeah, exactly.
That's why love is always the answer. because love is positive feelings. Roz and Jim can fight all they want. Anytime they want, they can fight. They can talk about what they don't like about each other. They can talk about how they can make the other person change to fit their perspective. But they don't do that because it leads to more problems. Weird. So go ahead, Jim, you say something about that as well.
Well, Curran, when you ask the question about the deep negativity, the things that cause illnesses, the things that cause anger, the things that cause the negative emotions, in my perception, I jumped ahead to the deepest of all concepts. Love is everything. And then you can talk about what seems to be separate that isn't. We are love. We are love. And everything is love in the total picture. The oneness of all things is love. Form and formless together are love. That's the unity. And the duality, it's not going to be the answer in the duality. There is no duality. Duality is an intellectual concept. Oneness is a spiritual concept. Oneness includes duality. It's all love. Material world, spiritual world, formed world, formless world, beyond form. It's all love. That's the feeling.
And the role that we have as human beings is to see how we're connected to this oneness.
Yeah, well put, Harry. And that reminds me of the missing link. When Sid writes about the little mind and the big mind, the other word for the big mind is God. And in fact, it's not two minds. It's one mind in harmony. When it's in disharmony, it's totally into the intellectual and the ego. When that is pulled out of the equation, you are left with one mind in harmony, seeing love, being love.
So maybe with that, Karen, let's go into break. We've never done breakout groups, so we're kind of curious to see how this works. And Karen's going to set that up, and you're each going to go into breakout groups. For how long do you think it should be for? What is the break? 5 or 10 minutes? What is 10 minutes?
5 would be 5. 5 would be great because we have to.
No, let's make it 10 minutes. 5 is too short. And break out the people and
you want to make like how many people do you want to make?
Each just 2 groups. And Jim and I will.
Okay, 5 and 5.
Yeah, and Jim and I will not be in the group.
And I would add to that, folks, it's a chance to get to know somebody. It's a chance to connect. It's a chance to network. It's a chance to find another person, another friend, in 10 minutes. Let's do it.
Hello.
What's your second?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, this is John Peter. And I'm really glad to be part of this platform. And through what we have been sharing, really, I'm so excited, and I believe I'm going to be a change maker. I'm going to change my community and to inspire it. Thank you very much. My name is John Peter, and I'm from Kabazana. I'm in an active refugee settlement. I'm the co-founder of the Unity for Sustainable Development Center, whereby I am also a permaculture trainer, and also I do teach my fellow refugees, especially the newcomers, those ones who do the new arrivals, those ones who came from different countries like Burundi, Congo, Rwanda, I see Somali, Ethiopian, Sudan, those new arrivals who can't explain themselves in English. There, and that is my work. I try to teach them the little English which I know already, so that they can be explaining themselves in English, as we are in Uganda, and Uganda is an English country. Thank you very much.
Thanks for sharing that, John Peter.
Yeah, good to have you here, Jean. So Karen, are we breaking out into groups?
Yeah, Harry, I don't see any option here. Have it enabled or not?
Breakout rooms, let's see.
Do you see that on
Yeah,
the bottom of your screen?
assign automatically, include co-hosts when it's signed. That's already, here, create. Okay,
Make it manual, and make it 5 people in a group, because I would do this, but I don't have the authority to do that. You are the host.
you're the co-host.
Yeah, but I don't see the option here. We have to enable that. But right now, you do it.
Open all rooms. Oh, I don't. Join room 1. Oh, okay, I can make room 1. Just a sec here. 1. Oh, 2. Oh. Oh, let's see. Okay. Yes.
People here now. I guess we're a group, Rose and Sylvia.
Could you put my coffee in my bag?
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, can you guys unmute, please? Rose and Sylvia. Are you there, Sylvia? No. Are you there, Rose? Rose, are you there?
No, but we're here.
Or would you stay here? There's a chat. Well, there's been some great talking going on. Harry, thank you for this wonderful sharing. Yes, I would like to know. Oh, this is from John Peter, I think. Is there any love when, for example, someone is suffering of COVID-19 and they try to put him in a certain place where none can find him or her? Please.
Okay, I found this on the web for is there any love with, for example, someone is suffering of COVID-19 as
Yeah, there's a question. Is there any love?
Suffering in COVID-19, and they try to put him in a certain place where none can find him or her, please.
Hello, Harry.
I don't.
There's a question in the chat. Did you see it?
No.
Well, have a look at it.
Breakout rooms. Close all rooms. Just a sec here.
So
Chat.
Harry, I don't know why I don't see the option of breakout room here.
Well, we're in a room now.
We have to
Everyone.
do some settings. We'll do the next time. So yeah. Harry, could you close the breakout room so everybody can come back here?
Can I what?
Can you close the breakout room so everybody can come back here?
Close what?
The breakout room.
Well, I think
Everybody's back now.
everyone's back. Okay. Okay.
Harry,
Yeah.
Harry,
Pretty
before we
much.
start, I just read a chat, which I rarely do. I have trouble moving around and finding chats, and I certainly can't type. And it was regarding, is there any love if a person has COVID-19 and they've been placed in an isolation and nobody that they love can come and visit them or find out how well they're doing? Have you got an answer for that question?
Are you asking me or are you asking?
Or anyone, but I defer to you on that at least to begin the question.
One of the most interesting things about being a human being is that we have heavy feelings. We have feelings where life seems to be colliding into ourselves. These are spiritual moments, spiritual tests for us. When you understand the three principles, it doesn't mean that everything in life is going to be pretty for you personally. When you understand that everything is spiritual, then you see life with a little bit of patience when you have this heavy, heavy, heavy feeling. Because you know that the good feeling is there somewhere. But right at this moment, it feels personally that you are not connected to God. You are. See, there's an outside feeling created by outside thoughts. And these outside thoughts create a personal reality. This is not who you are. That's just your own impression of what you are creating. And when that world seems to take over, of course you feel disconnected to the universal feeling of wisdom and love and good feelings. But there's a deeper thought. There's a deeper thought. And that deeper thought will reveal itself when this one quiets down. And you have faith that the other will show up. So in actual fact, as much as I hate to say it, in many ways, I learn more from my bad feelings or my heavy feelings than I do from my good feelings. And the reason for that is that hey, Mohendo, you're making a lot of noise. Okay. Well,
Hey, how are you?
hi, good to see you. Good to see you. You made it, eh?
Yeah, good to be here. Good to be here.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were. Yeah, it's good to have you. Mohindo does
Yeah,
it.
the connection and
It's okay. It's okay. So you can see
we have
underneath.
a connection problem. That's why we are late.
Okay. Okay. Are the kids there too? I hope so. Anyway, we'll see. So just to Mohindo, we were talking about the person is experiencing a heavy feeling due to outside circumstances, and they feel alone, or they feel that all they have is their own wits about them. To me, this is a powerful learning experience because it teaches me I am not in control. I need to have compassion for people when they are suffering. And life is not always just a bowl of cherries and it's happy and so on. And I learned something that was very hard for me to learn from Sydney Banks. Yes, we are spiritual beings. And yes, we are ordinary human beings. And that allows, when we see healing, to understand that it's a spiritual healing rather than coming from me. So we have thoughts, and those thoughts create our personal outside feelings. Then there's an inside feeling. And that as you go to that inside feeling, the wisdom, the love appears. Someone says, does it appear just like that? And I have to say, sometimes it does. And sometimes it takes a little while. But I can promise you that underneath whatever feeling you have on a personal level, there is a beautiful feeling. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Harry, I'd like to address that question too, please. A reminder, it was a question about somebody that had COVID-19 that was isolated from family and so on, and had the details that were how the heck can you talk this love, etc. And here's what flashed on me, and this is a lesson that people in this room have been teaching me over the last few months, to my amazement. And it's helped me to address these kind of questions. And it is, no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstances, you always have a right. It is your birthright to be happy. Happiness is free. And situations that have been examples for me from some of the people in this room. One person testified, when I'm starving, when I don't know, there's no food tonight for me, and my mother is upset and distressed and distraught, I'm smiling. I'm happy. Even though I can feel the hunger pains, I am taking happiness, and I'm going to be happy. I'm not going to be frightened. I'm not going to go to the low feelings. I'm going to be happy. I have faith that the next meal will come, and it does. Or the beautiful example that Sylvia has shared in her testimony about the 14-year-old girl who was raped and shunned and cast aside by her parents and her village and left alone, and considering abortion and then considering suicide, and nobody to help. And compassion was felt for her by Sylvia and her husband. And they told her this message that I just shared, that kind of message. And lo and behold, this child becomes happy. She starts to feel love from within. She starts to feel happiness from within. And she starts to feel love for her pregnancy. And she starts to feel love for the baby that had been unwanted. And then upon giving birth, she takes the baby home, and she's happy, and she's proud, and she's feeling the love. And her parents accept her, and they accept the child because of the love that their daughter is sharing with them. And when she goes out to the village who had shunned her and had banned their children from sharing with her or playing with her, they turn and they see this happy child with her beautiful baby, and they feel that happiness, and it infects them, and they respond, instead of with derision and anger and cruelty, they respond with love. From within her, in that situation, happiness became available. And there are other similar stories, and they really increase the depth of my own compassion and my own power to share this love with everyone and not to be deterred. I've shared with people who have, from this recent war thing with Israel and Palestine at the very beginning, who reached out to me on a website that I was on, heartfelt presence, and she talked about her relatives who were hostages, and all of the fears that were happening, and if they were alive or not still, and how could the three principles help me? And I took the silent moment and waited for the inspiration thought. And it was always this same thought. No matter what your circumstances right now, you can be happy. These are thoughts. Don't engage in those fearful thoughts. Don't destroy your moment. Don't destroy the knowledge that you have. You're safe right now.
Even if you don't feel it. See, that's the point. We have an interpretation. We don't feel it, so we buy it. You don't, Sid always said, you don't have to act on all your thoughts. And it is especially true when you're feeding, you're in the unknown. You don't know where you're heading. You don't, but that's the power.
Yeah, and there's no specific answer that we can give to that situation, except for the one that is, go inside, take a breath, slow it down. No matter what, the answer is going to come from you, from God, from your mind.
And it's going to be a teaching.
And you do not need to feel that fear. You can look at the big picture. We're all on a journey. Our journey begins at birth, and it ends. And we do not control that. That's just accept the journey. There's more to come. Go to the beautiful feeling. Go to the peace. Go to the calmness. Go to the quiet mind.
There's a phrase that comes to my mind when coming from Asumini, who is one of the mentors or teachers, 3P teachers from the Back to the Fitra. She comes up humbled by God. It's a beautiful feeling.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful feeling, because that's what the truth is. We have big images of who we are. And you must feel your beauty and your strength. But there's another world, a much more powerful world. The Father is all powerful. The Mother is the expression of the Father, the feelings. And together, we experience it inside of ourselves. That's the Trinity as I see it. Every experience is perfectly designed for you by God. Every experience. That's why I love teaching the three principles. I don't know the answer for you. That's your puzzle. You have to find the answer to your own puzzle. But I do know that in the purity of the principles, we have the guidance to take us where we need to go next. And that way I don't pretend that everything has to be the way I think. That's our problem. What I think is so, so important. And yet, we notice that all the beauty is experienced in the silence inside yourself. Where's the thinking in that? The thinking is letting go of the negative thinking. That's the lesson. On a human level, we have to let go of our personal opinion. We gravitate to how powerful we are, but we don't realize that most of that power is illusionary, created from our thinking about who we are. When you give up who you are in your illusionary nature, you see who you are in truth. I don't understand God, but I know I'm in partnership with God. I don't understand God, but I know I must participate with God. And I also understand that God not only guides, God tests us. And that is beautiful. To be tested by God is the greatest honor in the world. And every time you pass the test, God gives you 1,000 times more love. What more could you ask for? 1,000 times more love. Just like that. What does it require? Just requires us to be honest with ourselves. Stop lying.
Good intro to chapter 2.
Okay, chapter 2, just a sec here. This should be fun. Hopefully it'll be, let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, I have to share the screen. Just a sec here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, share screen, share sound. It says optimize for video clip. Should I click that too?
Yes, please. Do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Do that.
Okay, share. Okay, hopefully, here we go. Some music to start.
Zahara asks, "What is love?" Part 2. Zahara is a 15-year-old young lady living in Nakavali refugee camp. She's very curious about love. So are many of her girlfriends. She continued asking questions to Bibi about love because she found her answers so comforting and reassuring, and they made so much sense. While Zahara was eating her cookie with Bibi, she mentioned that she feels she loses her temper too many times in her relationship with her boyfriend. She asked Bibi, "Did you lose your temper when you were with your husband? Because I noticed that most of the time you're happy and calm." Bibi replied with a curious look on her face. "Actually, Zahara, when I was younger, into the age of 45, I had a very bad temper. My mother often used to lose her temper, and I thought it was a normal feeling. When I got stressed, I would also often get angry and let off steam, so to speak, and then feel better. I was okay with it. But I noticed that many others around me had become scared of me because of my temper, and that my temper hurt their feelings. My own children loved me, but hated my constant and loud negative emotional outbursts. Then one day, I had a spiritual insight into my temper. I noticed that my uncle, when he was angry, always thought he was right and everyone else was wrong. I also noticed the opposite was true. He was always wrong when he was angry. I wondered, could that be true for me as well? That is the moment I had an insight that changed my personality forever. I realized that this was true for me as well. I was always lying to myself when I was angry, but I thought I was always right. These lies kept my temper alive. The anger was fueled by my lying thoughts that I was telling myself in my head. Right at that moment, I lost 95% of that bad habit of my temper, and I became calmer and easier to be around. You see, Zahara, when one sees the false, automatically we tap into our wisdom, or that which is true. I was fooling myself with my lying thoughts. When I simply stopped believing in them, they went away. I became more loving to others and myself, and that brought happiness into my heart. This insight made me a better human being, and that is the goal of all human beings, in my opinion. Oh, Bibi, that is so great. I hope I can see this as well, Zahara said with amazement. I guess your experience is like the forgiveness that is mentioned in The Missing Link by Sydney Banks. You forgave yourself when you saw the truth. Sydney Banks wrote, forgiveness releases you from mental anguish and pain and all the horrible negative feelings and unforgiving mind experiences. When you learn to forgive, you see with clarity the ignorance and the innocence of those who trespass against you. There is no way to guarantee a trouble-free life. Wise people find happiness not in the absence of such hardships, but in their ability to understand them when they occur. Bibi, my boyfriend disappoints me so many times. Do you think I should stay with him? Bibi smiled as she remembered how many times her husband had disappointed her. But until he died, she continued to love him dearly. That is a question that only you can answer, Zahara. You must learn to trust your feelings. They are the guide to lead you into deeper and deeper levels of love and understanding. Remember, sweetie, all problems are caused by overthinking. And I mean all problems. If you are disappointed, find a positive feeling, and that will guide you to your answer. God gives us feelings for a reason. They are our guide inside. They guide us always, always to love, happiness, and contentment. In the North American Indian world, they teach about the red road and the black road. The black road is the path of ego. The red road is the path of accessing wisdom and love. Do you want to live in a world of ego thinking or a world of wisdom thinking? Positive feelings of love allow us to get beyond our selfish thoughts into the feelings of helping our fellow man, to help the community, and to rise above the selfish thoughts. A wise indigenous elder once said to me, allow your thoughts to soar like the eagle, turning your dreams into reality. This is my dream for you, Zahara. Disappointments come into our personal mind, and from time to time, when we leave these thoughts alone, they become teachers, allowing us to see that the spirit within and God's spirit are one. When you and I share like this, we share in the one feeling of love. I love how you feel free to share your mind with my heart. I love how you trust me. You must do the same with your boyfriend. When you see the beauty of your boyfriend, not from the outside attraction, but his true beauty inside, then you will know the answer to your question. I had to learn to trust my husband. When I learned to trust him, he respected me more. This allowed me to trust him even more. Never become a slave to a boyfriend, but certainly allow his wisdom to enrich your heart. I believe God lets us know when the boyfriend is a keeper or not. Thank you, Zahara, for being so loving.
Beautiful.
Zahara
Oh,
asks,
shoot. Okay. Oh, good. We're back. Did I do it right?
Yes. Yeah.
well, that,
Wonderful. I love it. I love that.
Okay,
Cool. I have a question to ask.
go for it.
Sure. So I heard that all the problems are caused by overthinking. So the question came to my mind, that is, if we stop overthinking, will all of our problems be solved?
All your problems that you are creating with your negative thinking will stop. The outside world is going to continue, but you won't see it as problems. You'll see it as life and your role. You'll understand your role. But when you have underthinking, you're calmer. When you have underthinking, you are not adding oil or fuel to the fire. You see, the negative thinking takes a negative thought and explodes it into the universe. It's like a nuclear explosion. You don't want to add a bunch of fuel, gasoline onto the fire. So the fire, the outside circumstances come and you deal with it calmly, like in a sports event. Let us say it is a championship and it comes to the last few points, which will determine who will win. The person who's calmest will win. The person who gets intense and stressed out is going to find a way to lose. So the state of mind that you experience your life dictates how you navigate through it. Yeah, there's going to be things that cause problems. We are in a physical world. But we're talking about the three principles and how can we have mental health? How can we have love? Overthinking will cover it up. Overthinking will take you into the outside world, your opinion. Like BB understood about her temper. As long as she overthought with the anger lingered on and got bigger and bigger and bigger. When she saw she was lying to herself, she experienced something that stopped her overthinking. Does that explain it to you?
Yeah, true. Beautiful. Beautiful. When we let go of overthinking, we see things differently. We have new insights, and the answer is love. And it will only come when we just let go of our negative thinking.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. How about anybody else? Love to hear from you, of course.
Hi.
Where's that coming from?
From me, Harry, from me.
Oh, hi. Sorry. My fault. Yeah.
It's okay. Maybe let me put on the video. Okay. So am I clear here?
you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for the stories and the inputs. I just wanted to also enlighten what is his name again? Let me see his name. Karen, yeah. So Karen was saying, how is love connected to people like who have cancer and all that terrible diseases? So uh one one of the reasons why people go to hospitals, it's because they love their lives. Yes. If you don't love your life, you don't mind going to the hospital for any medication. Are we guys there? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're listening.
Okay. So when you want your life, that means you love your life, because the fact that you have gone to the hospital and you have accepted the medication definitely means you love your life. You still want to stay up. So for people with cancer and those terrible, terrible diseases, the moment someone accepts to go to the hospital, takes the medication, takes everything that is said by the doctor, that means that person loves his life. And now the thinking part of it comes in, whereby you have to put in the positive part, and some of them recognize that they are not going to make it. They know that they have no much time on the earth, so they'll just have to think positive and accept that, okay, this cancer is going to take me away, but the few days I've remained with, let me love myself. Yes, let me not care I'm going to die. Let me not think about it. Let me just enjoy myself, enjoy the moments I'm remaining with, and love myself. Be happy for the moments I've been on earth. Yeah. So it's just a matter of you tuning your time. I'm going to die, and you put it in the positive. I have this particular disease I've been having on the earth. Yeah, that was to Karen. I don't know if it's making any sense or not.
It's a funny thing to say, Sylvia, but when you love life, everything seems to fall into place, including if you're sick with cancer, including whatever life provides with you. When I had cancer, my love for life guided me to see for myself what I needed to see to be happy. And that was the conclusion I had when I had cancer, serious cancer, by the way, was I didn't want to be unhappy for the next 6 months if I was going to die. I wanted to have a good 6 months. And I saw that each day this negative thought got bigger and bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden, it was very heavy, Sylvia. It was like, oh. And all I had to do was see that I wanted to love life, like you were talking about. And when I saw that, it was like this cloud disappeared, and I felt light as a feather. I just had a good time. And luck was with me, and it worked out. Didn't have to. Maybe it was my time, but it did, and I'm still here. And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad. So funny. As I get older, life gets more interesting. Everybody thinks when you get older, life gets smaller. And Jim's older than I am. Roz is older than Jim.
Wait a minute here.
Hold on. Back off, man.
But our minds are not young. So it's the best of times, even though sometimes my back creaks when I play tennis.
Roz and I are feeling the best time of our lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That testify to that.
Hey, hey,
Sure.
hey.
Go ahead, Mohindo.
Yeah, we have someone who wants to share here.
Hey,
Hi.
my name is Bella.
Hi, Bella.
I want to share. Hi, I want to share about three principles about what Zahara asked about love.
Good.
According to me, I have learned that when you give love, you receive love because you make yourself, you first love yourself, and you can love others and make fun for yourself. And if you love yourself, you will care for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
So simple, but so true, Bella. And you
Yeah.
demonstrate.
Yeah, for even me, I want to add on what Bella has said. Yeah, we don't have good connection. That's why we cannot put the video.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I think that when you give love, you receive love, and the love that we give starts from us. It starts from ourselves. Because I cannot give something that I don't have. It's very hard to give something that I don't have. If I miss love inside of me, I cannot go and just give the love that I don't have. That means that I need to love myself. I need to just find a good, like I just need to find to create those good feelings inside of me by choosing to be happy. Because remember that happiness is always free, and happiness is always there. It's just a choice. You say that for me, I'm going to choose it. I'll be just creating some good time for myself. Then there you can go and share those good feelings with other people. But when you don't have that love inside of you, you cannot share them. That's why we need to forgive ourselves. Something, because I know that most of people, like, they blame themselves after doing something bad, and you really take it in your head, in your heart, and at the end of the day, it just kill your good feelings. That's why we need to forgive ourselves. We need to love. We need to learn how to create good moments. We need to just live the good moments, the present that you are having, because no one is perfect. And the good things is, after having love, after creating the good feelings, the feelings of love, now we can share it with other people. Yeah. And I think that I have Roger here. He's going to share something about love.
and Mohindo is the person who voiced the thought, happiness is free. From teaching his youth group in Naka Valley, he came up with happiness is free. And as far as I could see, every person in Africa has related to that one sentence. Happiness is free. And you don't need to know anything else. Except
Hello. Hey, Harry.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jean.
this is John Peter, guys. Also, I'm going to add on what Sarah said about love and forgiveness. Yes, there is a sentence which comes in my mind where they said, the positive thoughts always bear the what? Always bear the positive result. Of course, we can't give what we don't have. first of all, if you want to love someone or something or to share love, love yourself personally, because the love should start from our homes. Love should start in our community. Then we spread it outside countries, continent, and over the world. So then the other thing, when you have love, you have to create what we call forgiveness. Because when you love someone, you have to be ready to forgive that person. When you love people, you have to forgive them. You have to care, because we should put also how to care about our people. When you love, you care and you forgive. Those are the things. Even in our homes, we are parents. When you love your parent, you can't do something which can harm your parent. You have to care about them. When you have your children, whom you take care of, you have to care about them. You have to love them. Also, they have to love you, because what goes around comes back around. When you hate someone, don't wait for love. You wait for that one also that is going to hate you. But also, what we have and we should know about, we have the children. They are like seedlings. When you don't take care of them while they are still little children, and when they are going to grow up, which kind of generation are we going to make? I think this topic, this session is changing us and is helping us to know what types of children, what type of generation we are making. Because I believe when we can make a generation which is full of love, care, forgiveness, and happiness, those words are going to be really main principal words for those children or for the coming generation. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Well spoken, John Peter.
Thank you.
You have something to say, Mark?
No, I was just agreeing with John wholeheartedly that the positive thoughts have to come from a deep feeling of love in yourself. Otherwise, they don't mean anything. They have to come from your heart. And similarly, forgiveness has to come from your heart. Yeah, I agree.
Beautifully said, Mark. Beautifully said. Honest, beautiful. Go ahead, Gerwin.
You're on, Gerwin.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Jervin, and I would also like to talk a little bit about the discussion about love and forgiveness. So, according to my understanding, I believe that love is one of the greatest feelings that human beings can ever have in life. And I believe that when we have love in us, everything in life becomes easier. Like when we love ourselves, we don't have these negative thoughts about ourselves because we love ourselves. So we try every time to make sure that we see positivity, even though we are going through difficult situations. We try to make our minds to think positive, and that is one thing which is going to make us to move forward. And secondly, about forgiveness, I believe that when we hold grudges against someone, we are not hurting that person that we are holding grudges against. We are hurting our inner peace. We are hurting ourselves. So the good thing is to just not to care a lot about the negative things that the other person did to us or the wrongs that they did to us. We need to just let go of the negativity and replace it with positivity. And when we forgive people, that will show that we really love them. Because as long as you don't forgive someone, it means you don't love them. But when you love them, you will forgive them. We get such situations even in our families whereby parents also do wrong things And actually, these teachings of three principles are helping parents a lot, because I can assure you that according to African parents, for them, they are never wrong. So for them, they believe that they are always right. And children have to accept and follow everything that the parents decide. But we came to understand that even them, sometimes they are wrong. And when they are wrong, they need to see how to make the wrong right. Because if they don't do that, it means they don't love their children. As long as the wrong things they've done are hurting their children, and they don't ask for forgiveness, they don't try to repair the bonds between them and the children, that's where you'll find that there is no love in the family. There is no collaboration between parents and the children. That's when you find children doing things in the back of their parents, and they will not have this deep connection. They will not share whatever problem that is happening to them. Actually, we were discussing about this topic last week with the parents that we are having these sessions of therapies with at Success Roots. And the parents came to understand that sometimes they are the ones that make their children to do wrong things. They are the ones who are making their children to go in wrong ways. Like for example, these teenagers here in Akival. So parents are not really trying to express much love to their children. Parents are being as rulers to their children in their families. They don't consider their children as their friends. So there is this kind of barrier between the parents and the children. You find in a home, when a parent comes, if they were not around, once the children hear the sound of a parent coming, everyone runs, everyone goes to hide themselves. Sometimes they go to sleep even if they're not feeling sleepy, just because of the fear that they have. They know that when the parents are at home, it is shouting every time, it is talking with loud voices. It is like, so all these kinds of behaviors show that there is no love, because when there is love, people understand each other, people communicate, and when we communicate, we share. That is when we are going to know how is everyone feeling. Is this one feeling well? Is this one going through problems? And then we can try to sit together as a family and find a solution to the problem that one of the members is having. So the sessions are really helping the parents, because they have come to understand that sometimes parents can also be wrong and children can be right. And when you love someone, if you know that you have wronged someone, you are considered to do your best to ask for forgiveness. And when you ask for forgiveness, you must be forgiven. And that is love. So thank you so much. This is really helpful. People are changing, and yeah, we will really do all our best to make sure that we keep spreading these teachings, not only in our respective communities, but even to other communities, so that everyone can benefit. Actually, like in our school, in Success Roots, we are having these sessions just with the parents committee of the school, but we have been receiving offers from other parents who also want to join the sessions, because the parents we have been discussing with, sharing with, have been going sharing with other parents, sharing with children at home, and a lot of people are feeling interested. They also want to join the sessions. So we are so glad, because we are seeing positivity since we started until now. So we are really so thankful for that.
Thanks, Gerwin. Beautifully stated. You bring up a very interesting point. Love has no boundaries, but it doesn't also have a structure that the parents must teach the kids. It's the love that's expressed that teaches. And the kids in Muhindo's group, in Gerwin's Success Roots, they are leading the change for the parents because the parents can feel the change in the kids, can feel the love, and it opens their mind to the change. So unusual, because we always think it's a parents down thing, but actually in Africa, once the kids feel the love, access their wisdom, it goes this way, right out. And that's beautiful. It's not who teaches, it's the fact that love is experienced.
Beautiful, Harry. And Derwin, you're a magnificent teacher of teachers.
Yeah, you could see why it's so powerful.
Yeah.
You could see why. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, pal. You're welcome. Anybody else to
Hello, everyone.
go ahead, Muhindo.
Yes, it's really not Muhindo, it's Rogers.
Is it Roger or Muhindo?
Rogers here.
Okay, Roger and Muhindo do the a new talent for the youth group for the best future together. And we've been working.
Yes, please.
We've been working quite a long time with them. And this is, I want to perhaps just explain something. I came in, they asked me to teach. Then I brought a Sumini in, and she supported the training. And then at a certain point, she was ready to take over the group herself. And that's what's happened. And I go in once a month and just help once a month, and Asumiti takes care of the rest of the time. And that's the involvement, the sharing for who God picks to lead, to support, to share. Same thing happened in Kampala with Jim. I came in, I started to work with the principal, with Sylvia, brought Jim in, brought Aisha, and then they took over. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's the dream we have for Kakuma with Mark, just and then you see it's not holding on to something, it's letting go. The more you let go, easier life is.
I think.
Sorry, Roger. I got. Go ahead, Roger. I got caught up in my head there. Sorry, I got caught up in a thought. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much for the very good news that you brought on board. I'm really glad that you shared the part of it on how we started and how we are today and how we are impacting lives. Thank you very much for that. And then on the other hand, part of the sharing of this understanding, I always say that this community that we are in, the refugee community, is the community that need this understanding. And this was my first word when I met you. I actually say that maybe this understanding was meant for the refugees to really hear about this, because these are the people who are going through hopeless time. They're going through the moments that they don't even love themselves. They reach the level that they feel like there is no more any other things to do. They give up on their lives. They don't see what the next step will be like. They don't know what's really going to happen tomorrow. So this understanding gives them the opportunity to really understand that it's up to them, it's up to you and I, no matter the situation that you are in today, no matter who you really are. And of course, you are called today a refugee, but this does not affect who you truly are. This does not affect your future person. Maybe you can become someone else, and you someone important, and you never think that you were a refugee one day. So on the other hand as well of sharing love, and part of the understanding of Sahara, who asked what is love, and actually Sahara was also part of our kids. We were attending this session together, and she asked about love. And here it has grown up to the level that you also have heard about the question. So it's a lovely session. On that, throughout the sharings that um, we normally share around the community, I came to understand about how people are really understanding love, and how they are not really understanding that it's really up to them to first love themselves before they intend to really get to know that the other person loves them. So my personal understanding goes to is putting this hand in hand with trust, because when you love the other person, when you show that you love first yourself, and you be able to really love the other person, and in between there, you are able to trust that very person. I heard about different words that people shared, saying about forgiving. These are the pillars that are holding love. When you have love within yourself, you love the other person, you really need to forgive them, they need to trust you. These are the pillars of love. But but to our community, they tend to really forget about that. They don't really understand that it's up to them, and for them to build trust in between them, they first need to love themselves. And when they love themselves, then this gives them an opportunity to really forgive themselves and trust themselves. And for the moment, I feel so lucky to be part of the New Talent family, to the level that the whole family and the kids that we have understood all of this understanding. So we live like, you should allowed me to say this, we live like we are in heaven, where you don't feel like you are perfect, where you feel like you are loved, where you share the same happiness, where you know that you believe that hope is within us. So that's the family I'm living in. That's why I'm sending my appreciations to each and everyone who's contributing to this understanding, to grow beyond the boundaries, beyond, and to reach those very people who needs to hear this. I don't want to say really much, but I have a lot to say. I really want to thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much, Harry.
Okay, you're more than welcome. And just just to show you how love is not always with words. Uh, Muhinda's group with the school that they're starting a new school as well. They got a bunch of soccer balls from what was donated. Gerwin's the Success Roots got a bunch of soccer balls. Uh, uh, Sylvia, I think even Rose got a bunch of soccer balls. And you know what was funny? It all started from Jim and Roz donating 2 soccer balls to a group in Sylvia. And I said, wow, that's a great idea. We should include that in our fundraiser. And it ended up, we almost sent out 50 balls. So it's really shows you soccer balls are love. Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is a good place to call it. Thank you for coming. We'll work through the technicalities a little bit better, but thank you so much. And know it touches my heart that you have been touched by Zahara, and the words come from love. Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I would like to add to that, Harry. It's been a privilege. It's been a privilege to listen to you folks sharing. It's been a privilege to share with you. I thank you all. I admire you all. I look forward to working more with all of you. You guys are taking it to the world through Africa.
Yeah. And we love you. And we love you.
We love you.
We love you. And do you know what else? We notice you love us.
Yeah, we love you too.
Okay. See you guys later. Have a good rest of it's your evening. It's the rest of our day. It's right now it is in Canada. Mark is from Canada. Harry is from Canada. Jim and Rosa. 10 o'clock, 5 to 10 in the morning. But you guys are heading to your evening.
Yeehaw!